Hey MorphLabs, I'm Angel, this is Boy, and welcome to my humble abode. Come in.
Thanks, Angel. Hello everyone, my name is Pranay, co-founder and CEO of MorphLabs. Morph is building a non-invasive headset that allows amputees to control their prosthetic hands without ever needing to use their peripheral muscles. I'm here today with Angel, a right upper limb amputee, and I'm excited to be able to speak with him, hear his story, and have him share everything about not only his amputation, but his life's background, and be able to educate the amputee community as well as just everybody out there on what it's like to be an amputee and what their day-to-day looks like. So I'll pass it over to Angel to introduce himself as well.
Like Pranay said, I'm Angel. I've been working with MorphLabs because since my accident, all I wanted was just to have a piece of what I had before. These guys, they're doing amazing stuff, and I'm glad to be part of the journey, and I want to get the information out there because I know when it happened to me, I couldn't find any information. When I came back from Costa Rica where my accident happened, I was looking online. I didn't know what was the next step, what to do, That's one of the reasons that I'm excited about doing this video, is to get the information out there to help people in the same situation find a little comfort, or just to know that they're not alone on this journey, on this difficult journey.
Thanks, Angel. I appreciate you. We couldn't do what we're doing without working with you, and just your happiness, excitement, and all of that. It just brings joy to the work we do at the end of the day, because we're cooped up in an office just looking at a screen all day. Without further ado, I wanted to start with your childhood and ask about how you grew up, where you grew up, and what it was like.
Absolutely. I was born in Dover, New Jersey in 1987, and but I was raised here in the Bronx. Went to high school in the Bronx, lived here all my life almost. This is where my journey began, actually in this neighborhood. I had a bunch of friends when I was younger. We used to ride bikes all around the block, play hide-and-go-seek, freeze tag, and it was very fun back in the days. Some of my friends are still living around, and we still see each other and stuff like that. In high school, I played varsity baseball. I used to play all types of sport. I used to play football, soccer, handball. I love riding motorcycles. If I still have my arm, I still be riding motorcycles. The best thing is just feeling that wind hit you, the freedom, and going through traffic. It's just, and that power that's under you, you feel it,
After school, you said you worked around here. You were one of the best sales associates at Spectrum as well. What did you do? What was your career like when once you got started out of school?
Well, the first job I ever had was at Gristedes supermarket with my mom. And I remember what I did with my first paycheck. I bought my grandmother a DVD, VCR, the one that comes with both. Mm-hmm. And I remember my first paycheck was for $97. So back in the days, now you can't even get gas with that, but well, for a week. I worked as a security guard. I worked for Columbia University. I worked as an activist for a nonprofit organization called Emergency Rights. People would usually come in with different situations, and I would find the best resource for them to resolve their issues. One of my greatest accomplishments was being a salesman for Spectrum. I have like 20 certificates from them. I enjoy selling because I enjoy talking to people. I know product knowledge, know what I'm talking about.
So I'm curious, how did the accident happen? What are your thoughts immediately in the moment when it happened and when you were in the hospital bed? And what changed to how you look at your accident reflecting back now?
Well, recently I have a new baby sister. She's in Costa Rica. I went over to Costa Rica for 7 days, for a week. I had a great time with my baby sister. I took her to the pool, to the beach, to her favorite place to eat. We just had a great time. And the last day, I wanted to have a little fun myself. So I decided to go on a ride, on a motorcycle ride. And 3 hours before my trip back to New York, I hit the back of a truck. The truck was in the middle of the road with the lights off, and I must have been going like 60 miles an hour, and I didn't see it to the last minute. You know, I don't remember. I remember all the way up to the accident. It seems that I tried to avoid the truck at the last second, and it got my arm. And they found me on the side ditch with my helmet off, one of my shoes off. I woke up 3 days later in the hospital, not knowing where am I, what happened to me. It was just boom. 1 minute I'm riding home to get my bags ready to go to the airport to come back to New York. The next minute I'm waking up in the hospital with my arm broken, in a lot of pain. And it was a horrible feeling, you know, waking up with so much pain and not knowing where I'm at, you know, why am I here, you know, obviously because of my arm, but at the moment it was just a big question mark. And I was trying to get the nurses' attention to get water at the time. They wouldn't give me water. They wouldn't pay any mind to me. That made me feel more homesick. The first person I called was my mom. And she was in Puerto Rico at the time. You know, I was supposed to be with her. She went crazy. My ex helped her get an emergency passport to come to Costa Rica to be with me. But it was so much pain in my arm. I didn't know my whole arm was broken. And the doctor told me, you know, that they would have to amputate my arm. And that was something that I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Like, Jesus, like I'm gonna have to lose my arm? Like there's nothing I could do to, you know, save it, you know? And I feel like if that accident would have happened here in the United States, probably they could have saved my arm, you know? So that's something that's always in the back of my head. The pain was so horrible that after they told me if I don't get rid of it, if I don't make a decision soon, that, you know, it could affect me more, or they're gonna have to cut above elbow, which they did anyway. And I couldn't deal with the pain anymore. So I was just like, fine, you know, like after 3 days, I decided to go ahead with it. And that happened a week after my accident, on July 12th of 2024. Waking up without my right arm I was in shock. Like I couldn't believe it, you know, and I was just like, at the beginning, I just wanted to stop the pain, you know, horrible pain, because every time they moved me or bathed me, because I would scream from the pain. So, but then when it was gone, like, and then I'm alone at that hospital, you know, it was really difficult for me at the time.
What was it like those 3 days after they told you you were going to get amputated, before you made the decision to get amputated? What was it like being in the hospital, contemplating that?
They had me in a room with 5 other patients. It was a big room with I think 6 beds total. And everybody had something amputated, a leg or something. It was hard. It was a hard decision. I tried to get some type of movement or anything, because they would come in with some type of scanner to scan to see if I have any, and they would see, they say, oh, there's no signal, there's nothing, you know. And so pretty much I felt like there was no other option at the time. And it happened 3 hours before I was supposed to come back to New York. That stays always with me, you know. That I regret that every single day. And, after I got back, at the beginning it was difficult. I would go to the basement every day and scream and be like, "Psst, why me, But little by little, I started accepting it, It's still difficult. That's why I'm getting a little emotional. But little by little, it was hard for me to find any information until I found Hanger and spoke with John. John from Hanger referred me to NYU. They realized that my stub was short, so they talked about the Osseointegration, and I agreed because I didn't want to have all that strap. Sure. I just wanted to connect the prosthetic arm. So I went through 2 different surgeries for that.
So real quick, before we jump into like the osseointegration part, curious what it was like. So after you had this amputation and now you're back in New York, what was it like before even getting in contact with John? And how long did it take before you found someone that would actually immediately help you?
Well, when I got back, I had another situation. Due to my surgery in Costa Rica, I had a blood clot on my left leg. Mm-hmm. So my leg was swollen from the plane ride here. So once I got back, I had to go back to the hospital. And that's the last thing I wanted to do. I didn't want to, I just spent 3 months in the hospital. The last thing I want to do is go back to the hospital, especially to stay, for another week or so. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. So I went to the hospital and then left. I said, let me spend the weekend at least at home, enjoy a little bit of the home life, and then go to the hospital and deal with that. So then went back to the hospital. I had surgery in my leg to remove the blood clot. Had to take blood thinners to keep it from going up to my lungs. At the beginning, my ex, Stephanie, I had somebody there to help me through the process. I had somebody with me. Mm-hmm. But getting information on what to do next, somebody that lost a limb, I couldn't find any information. I wanted to talk to somebody in my situation. In my same situation, I wanted to speak to somebody that this happened to them. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find no one until I spoke to somebody in Ohio, I believe, and Missouri, but I felt that was the only way I was gonna be able to, until I found Hanger. The first Hanger that I found was here in the Bronx, and they wouldn't take my insurance. Mm. So I had to change insurance to be able to go to Hanger. But yeah, it took me like 3 weeks to be able to find Hanger. It's crazy how you don't think anything about amputees or being disabled until it happens to you. Because before I didn't know not one thing about, still, I don't know too much about prosthetics. And the information is not out there. You have to like really search and dig for it to find it, And that's one of the most difficult things, because at the time, you believe, oh, I live in New York, I'm gonna get all this help, Mm-hmm. And when I came to New York, it was like, nobody know this happened to me. Okay, what's the next step? Where I have to, go to get a robot arm, or how does this work, And thankfully, the support groups helped me out as well. Mm-hmm. Meeting people in the support group in the same situation, that helped me a lot, because you get to vent all that built up. My ex at the time, is so much that you could vent with, but still, it was building up inside of me, and these support groups gave me
the outlet,
pretty much. So I'm very grateful to be able to go to these support groups and meet people and get the information that I need, and it's like a family orientated type of vibe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you went to Hanger after doing a bunch of searching here in New York, and from Hanger, after the prosthetist evaluated your situation, said you should meet the NYU surgeons for osseointegration.
Correct.
Could you describe what osseointegration is, why you were qualified for it versus other people, and what that entire experience was like, all the way from the referral from John at Hanger, all the way to your first few meetings with the surgeon to actually getting the surgery?
I'll do my best.
Yeah.
We found out right off the back that my stub was too short, you know, to be able to control a prosthetic arm the way I should, you know, the way it should be. Osseointegration, right? Pretty much, they put a metal rod with your bone inside, and then the second surgery is the abutment screw that connects to the metal rod that sticks out of your skin, which looks like this. And after the second surgery, where now I have my abutment screw, which is universal for all osseointegration patients, they put me on this weight regimen where you gotta add 50 grams every week to your, what do you call this?
To the rod.
To the rod. Feel that. That's the maximum weight.
This is about like 5 pounds, right? 10 pounds.
Something like 5 pounds.
You can see the weight grams on there.
So yeah, this piece right here is the only FDA approved for OI patients. It's universal. All right. I asked John from Hanger if I could buy this piece in Amazon. He started laughing. He said this piece alone costs like $2,000, which is crazy because if you feel that, it's just, I feel like it's plastic with 2 rubbers on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's something easy that you could 3D print. But that connects, this piece right here, as you can see, it opens up. That connects to your abutment screw. And it's able to, with this on your abutment screw, you could attach anything to it like that. You know, this is the weight regimen. I don't know what you call this, the weight rod, I would say. But you need this piece for anything. For your prosthetic arm, you're gonna need this piece right here as well. You know, it clamps into that other piece we were talking about on your abutment screw. And it locks on like that. So I started this at the end of February, beginning of March, I believe. And now I'm at the maximum. So I've been wearing this for, what, 3 months now? And I got approved for my myoelectric arm. So hopefully by the end of the month, you should see me with a robot arm, half bionic.
How has your lens or perspective changed since all the struggle you went through that was bottled up in the beginning to how optimistic you are?
Well, at the beginning, I was feeling sorry for myself, Pranay. You know, like, that's the best way for me to explain it. At the beginning, I would just feel like, you know, like a victim. And now, I'm more blessed, appreciative. I'm grateful that I got a second opportunity to live, because I could have died that night. You know, the doctor told me if I would have been a little older, I would have been, you know, probably would not survive because I lost a lot of blood. So, and I've seen other people that's in a worse situation than I am, you know, that they probably don't have both their legs, or they're missing 2 limbs instead of 1. And so now I'm just grateful that at least, you know, I got a second opportunity, and I started learning how to do everything with my left hand. You know, it's a new way of learning how to do things again. You know, it's exciting for me now. I get a lot of attention from the community. I realize that there's nothing that I cannot do. I could do anything that I put my mind to. It might be a little more time consuming, but I could get it done. And that's about it. You know, it's just learning to accept it. I still haven't accepted it 100%, because I still get emotional. I still, think about it. I still have regrets, but I do accept it more because now I feel more comfortable taking my shirt off at the beach, walking, showing my sleeveless arm, like I feel like I've accepted it more and adapted to doing things with my left hand and learning, so I feel like my role is to, like you said, being able to motivate and help these other amputees that feel like they're just going through this alone, and what you guys are doing, I believe 100% in that. Dude, that's like what I want, and what I'm assuming almost every amputee want is to be able to control their legs or their arms just with their mind. I don't know anyone else doing what you guys are doing. That's why you guys are the best, and I'm just happy to be a part of that journey, man.
Whatever happens, you're able to still be a light in a dark room, even though you're going through dark things.
I appreciate that.
And you said other people are going through even darker things. You always see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is, very hard to do.
Yeah.
Very hard to do.
Absolutely.
I couldn't imagine having to deal with that sort of thing. It's hard, but you step it up for other people. Whereas a lot of people, they get even shyer, meaning like whether it's another group of amputees or talking about your own experiences.
I love helping people. I put myself in their shoes, and if I have the information, the resources for them to better themselves, why not? It's something that's always been in me, and even when I was doing the activist work, every day I would see something different, and even if I didn't have that information, I would find it for them, and that's something that I love doing, and that's why I feel like you see that, because it comes naturally. It's just because I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying talking to people. If they need help, like Marco, being able to give them the resources to find the information they're looking for. But yeah, that's something that I enjoy doing, and I appreciate you noticing that. Thank you, Pranay.
Of course. What are you most excited about personally? Doesn't have to be prosthetics related, but can be. And then what are you most excited about, let's say, for the entire amputee community? Like, what piece of advice or shed of light do you want to share with everybody?
Well, I'm excited about getting my arm, first of all. That's something that once I get it, I know it's not like getting the keys to a car and driving off. I know I'm going to have to practice, make sure that, because I feel like once I get my prosthetic arm, my life is going to be unpaused. It's going to be an exciting start. I'm optimistic about the work that you guys are doing, and I'm excited about being able to interview other amputees and being able to have a conversation with them and get their story.
What is one piece of advice that you want to share to whoever's watching this video? Amputee, non-amputee? What do you think is worth sharing?
At the beginning, I felt like my life was over, after I lost a limb. And I just want people out there to know that it's just the beginning of a new life. A new chapter, like everything is gonna move up. Don't worry. I know it's hard right now, but you're not alone. It will get better. I just heard coming from Puerto Rico, this lady who sat next to me, her daughter was actually getting her leg amputated. She couldn't believe that I was sitting next to her. I was able to talk to her because it was a hard time for her. On the whole plane ride, I was able to calm her, and she sent me a beautiful text saying, "Thank you so much for sharing your story with me. It helped me a lot on being able to approach my daughter to show her the support that she obviously needed." I want everyone to feel like it's gonna be okay, because it's very difficult for someone to lose their limb, for anyone. Besides the people who are born that way, I guess it's a little bit less difficult because that's all they know since they were born. But for somebody like me who lived with all their limbs for most of their lives, and then all of a sudden losing a limb, at the beginning it feels like your whole world shattered. You know, it's like, how am I going to be able to move forward? Fine, easily. You know, everything that I did before, I'm still able to do now, and never give up. You know, just keep moving forward.
Sounding crystal clear. So you guys are all ready to start whenever you want.
Of course.
Well, hi guys. I'm here with my neighbor Blondie. She's a motherly figure to me. She's been there through the good times and the hard times, and I love her very much. And I wanted to introduce her.
Hi, how are you? I know him since he was a young fella, beautiful person, understanding, loving guy. I've been here over 60 years, okay?
60 years, wow.
60 years. I've seen the bad and the good and the ugly. I've been here for a long time. I know his godfather, his grandmother for years, and we have lost a lot of our neighbors. And they've seen him grow up. He's very athletic. It's a shame that he lost his right arm, main arm. And in the future, I know he'll do much better than any other young fella that you have to put through. We told him, you're alive, we'll get through this, and we have. And he's been there, a trooper, and he's a very, very excellent learner, and I know he'll do well, and we're here for him anyhow, regardless.
That's one thing about Blondie. She always helped me stay positive, you know, and I'm just glad to have her next door to me. You know, if anything happens, I could always count on her, because I really don't have many people I could count on. You know, like, it's only Blondie and my mom. That's it.
His mother is a fantastic person. She is an ace, #1. Been there, done that, still doing. She went to pick him up. She said to the doctor's office, oh hell no, I'm taking my son home. And surely enough, she went to Costa Rica, where she had no one there to support her or help her or anything. She took a plane, she got her passport. How? I don't know, but she got it, and she was there the next 24 hours, whatever you want to call it, and she was there to pick up her son regardless. The doctor told him, oh no, he can't be moved. She says, oh hell no, I am taking my son home. She took him home, and I'm glad she got back to the United States, for the simple reason was he had blood clots on his legs, and they were willing to let him go, okay, to keep him over there. But she said, no, 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 and she brought him home, and I'm so glad she did that. You're talking about a woman being,
Yeah,
she's a
strong-minded.
She's a whippersnapper. She will curse, knock down a whole house if she has to. Oh yeah, I wish she was here.
Yeah.
A wonderful woman. Wonderful woman.
I just wanted to introduce her.
He's like a son I never had. Let's put it this way. A wonderful kid. He's a wonderful kid. I love him very much. Really. And if he needs anything, it doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter. I'm here for him. It doesn't matter. Oh, if he needs anything, I'm here for him too.
Thank you.
And he knows that. Yeah.
And I'll need a minute. You know, that's why I wanted to introduce Blondie, because I really do appreciate her. You know, we all got stuff going on in our lives, and she's always been there for me. And the purpose of these videos is to get the information out there for other amputees that are going through the same thing. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, darling.
I love you.
I love you too. And we're going to continue. That's a good one, right? I couldn't stand up fast enough.
No, don't worry about it.
Oh, boy.
One of the best persons to have living next to you.
You know, we try the best we can. And now I'm telling you, all you young fellas that have lost something, whatever, there's more in life. There's more in life. You know, stand up and say, you know, let me help the next person next to me. Let me help that person. Let me help them push it on. They need an arm, they need a leg, they need time, they need moments that you can sit down and talk to them and say, listen, Your life, let's go with it. That's all that matters. And that's my little one over there. Say hi. Say hi.
You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Olivia. I mean, it's hard because I knew him for such a long time. Seeing him with the arm, it's been hard and stuff. Because I don't want to make him sad saying anything. So I didn't want to be rude or anything to him. But yeah, it was just hard seeing him like that. And then every time I would see him, I would be like, Grandma, is he there? Is he there? And he's like, yeah, come talk.
Oh, thanks,
Awesome.
Olivia. I didn't know she felt that way. Thank you.
She cried. Support.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and stay tuned. And if you're an amputee, please reach out. We want to share your story and help those in the same position. Thank you so much.